Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. As always, your host, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we are going to talk about the recent Supreme Court rulings that happened yesterday and how three of them were good and one of them was extremely terrible. That one obviously being the Monsanto ruling where they sided with Monsanto to literally poison Americans. The other three obviously being two pro to pieces of, it was one pro to piece of legislation, and it was two basically kicking illegals out, including getting rid of TPS protections. Now is what it is. So, but yeah, we're gonna go over all four of them, knows what it is, and go from there. And really, like my biggest gripe with people like Tim Pool specifically, who was talking about it, I think it was last night or a couple days ago maybe. He's like, oh yeah, this paves the way now for Trump to, mass deport these people. It's like, I'll believe that when I fucking see it, bro, because quite literally, we've heard that fucking song and dance before multiple times, and there should have already been tens of millions of illegals kicked the fuck out of this country, but shocker, there has not been. And why is that? It's because you didn't have ICE go hard enough, you didn't have every other federal agency go enough, and deal with this fucking trash that's in our country right now illegally is what it is. So, do I believe that the ending of temporary protected status for a bunch of third world invaders that shouldn't be here in the first place is going to change anything? Not until I see literal overnight sweeps throughout my state here in Ohio and a bunch of other states in this country where they round these motherfuckers up, throw them on planes, and kick them the fuck out for good is what it is then. Like until I literally see videos coming out of a bunch of people being rounded up, arrested, and kicked the fuck out, I don't believe a damn word of it. It's all talk at this point, honestly. So, let's pop up anyway. Ah, that was my cousin getting hold of me. Thought for a minute it was my packages because I got some deals the other day on some mags, like that Mag Stack place. Or no, not Mag Stack, Mag Shack place down there in Tallahassee, Florida. Had a good deal on some closeout stuff for a 3-day thing, so I got some KTI mags from them for the ARs coming in, and then apparently PSA did a Father's Day deal where it was some PMags and what was it, PMags, and then I think it was a Spark Red Dot, I believe what it was. So that's going to go on it's either going to be on one of the AR pistols I built out recently, or it's going to be on one of the AR rifles. I'm not sure yet which one, because I'm trying to. My thinking is I'm going to try to keep one of the AR pistols as a home defense rifle, is what it is right now, or not home defense rifle, home defense weapon, because technically it's still considered a pistol because it has the brace on it and stuff like that's what it is there. But yeah, it's much easier to have a like 10.5 to 14.5 inch AR pistol be a home defense weapon than have that 16 plus inches what it is there be a home defense rifle is what it is. So, and being able to keep that lightweight and stuff like that for the apartment here is what it is nice. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure it's got the least amount of stuff on it possible is what it is there, and keep the weight down on that quite a bit is what it is then. So, but anyway. And then, of course, all the mags are going to be made into various kits right now, is what it'll be for if anything happens in the near future. So I'll basically hand out, mostly it's for the complex here is what it is, and like surrounding complexes that I know I can trust the people, to where I'll just hand these people a fucking AR and a fucking bag of mags if something happens what it is there. So either that or it'll be, secondarily, it would be my original plan would obviously be go and meet up with family, and then it would just be take a bunch of bags of mags and then all the rifles and stuff down there, and it would be the family getting together and having a kid each is what it is then. So, but anyway, either one works, honestly. It just depends if I can get out of here or not, really, because boy, that would be a secondary plan. Obviously, if I can't leave here is what it will be. So I'm not gonna trust people around here is what it'd be though. But yeah. Anyway, so yesterday there was multiple rulings from Supreme Court. You had one where they sided with Monsanto in the cancer-causing case of Roundup, which it does obviously cause cancer. And I think that's the worst ruling. I think it was either a 6-3 or 7-2 ruling by them, which kind of makes me wonder, honestly, if the Supreme Court justices that voted yes on it in Monsanto's favor did so because they were either bought and paid for by them, like bribed basically, as well. I'll say out this one, or if it wasn't something where they just went to them, like had their execs go to them, whatever it was there, and we're like, hey, you want clean food in the future, right? Well, you better side with us if you want to keep getting clean food for your families and stuff, because we're going to poison your shit even more than everybody else's shit. Then if that be the case, but you don't side with us, so it is, be my guess. So who knows? But that's the problem, though, because that case 100% should have gone in favor of the dude who was suing them for literally causing us cancer through Roundup stuff. And it was glyphosate is what they actually caused, was the main ingredient there in Roundup. Which, this is the one thing I never understood. You have this literal chemical poison called glyphosate, and yet we are allowing it to be used on crops. We are allowing it to be used in all of our agriculture across this country. They are literally spraying this shit on different food harvests right before they harvest the stuff. And then you wonder why the cancer increases in American citizens in this country, and pretty much everybody else is here that shouldn't be either, for that matter. You wonder why all these cancers of everybody in America has just skyrocketed through the fucking roof, and it's not that hard to figure out, people. It all goes back to this shit. So the fact you just gave these motherfuckers in Monsanto a free pass to poison the American people is absolutely disgusting. And not to mention the American people, but the rest of the world too, that will buy our produce and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's just absolutely sickening is what it is. I also want to point out, for those that don't know, Shannon Watts, the stupid fucking cunt that Michael Bloomberg hired to become Mama's Main Action head back in the day. She used to work for Monsanto back in the day before she was hired on by Bloomberg. She was, I forget if she was a PR person at Monsanto or like some basically spin doctor there who basically spin them as an evil corporation into, oh no, they're actually helping humanity. It's like, no, the fuck they're not, bitch. So yeah, it's just absolutely disgusting is what it is, dude. And it's like, these motherfuckers are literal demons. That's what it is, dude. From Shannon Watts to Michael Bloomberg to everybody mixed with Monsanto, etc. There. So, yeah, it's just absolutely disgusting is what it is. And then, of course, you had what was the other ones? Let me see if I can grab up the stuff here. Okay, I want to look at the other three that were. So the second one that I want to talk about today was Pro 2A stuff. It was there was Hawaii that had some bullshit gun ban in place that was completely unconstitutional, where it basically allowed for anybody that was in a public place, like a grocery store or something like that, like a manager of a grocery store or whatever, to come out and tell people like, oh, you can't carry in the grocery store, you can't carry in this public place, that public place, etc., etc. It was referred to as the vampire rule by a couple different 2A organizations like FPC and GOA and stuff like that. And I understand why, obviously. And that was one of the ones that was voted on by the Supreme Court yesterday. And it was either a 6-3 or 7-2. I think it was 6-3 decision that, yes, it is unconstitutional. And then, of course, I was thumbing through Facebook last night, and it was this gay dude who does some kind of gay news or whatever on the site there, and was bitching and moaning about, like, and it was basically straight lying too, by the way, about what the rule actually was, where he was all like, oh, it's this thing and that thing. If your family doesn't want to be around somebody carrying a gun, and it's like, shut the fuck up, you lying bitch. Like, that's not what it is at all. It's saying, no, you cannot deny someone who has a firearm, which is their Second Amendment constitutionally protected right, is what it is there. So, and this is why somebody was just so sick and tired of this shit, honestly, dude. It's just a bunch of damn lies is what it is in most cases. And these people just want to spin their garbage like that is what it is there. So let's go for rings. what was yesterday? The 25th. 25th. Yeah, I'm trying to find the one. There should be like one specific thing here that would say all of it. I'm trying to figure out which one it is now. Let's see, is this the one I'm looking at right now? Okay, so as it goes to the TPS stuff, which we're going to talk about more when I hear what it is, that decision was 6-3 along basically party lines is what it was there. And then you had, fuck you, USA Today, with your stupid bullshit, anti-ad blocker garbage coming up. Yeah, that one was a 6-3 decision for the Hawaii ruling. It was either 6-3 or 7-2 for the TPS ruling. What the fuck, man? Sorry, stupid things coming up right now. Yeah, it was 7-2 ruling was the weed kill roundup lawsuit that was giving people cancer, which is absolute bullshit. That they sided with Monsanto on that one. And then the other one would have been, let's see here now. Asylum seekers, immediately halt to Haitians and Syrians. Hawaii ruling, roundup ruling. There we go. Fourth decision left several major cases unresolved as the court hasn't finalized the term. Oh, that was the fourth ruling. It was basically about how you have to be a U.S. citizen to be able to, that's what it is, which as it should be. So, but yeah, needless to say, I think the most impactful ones would be the Hawaii gun ruling in the future because it basically told every anti-gunner to go fuck themselves now. You can't deny people the right to keep and bear arms. You can't stop constitutional carry from being a reality in this country anymore, et cetera, et cetera. And I really want, like, that's the one thing I've heard recently is people talking about Trump trying to do it's some kind of a nationwide thing. I'm not sure exactly what it would be at this point. I think what it ended up being would be some kind of a concealed carry with a permit kind of bullshit, which really needs to be constitutional carry nationwide at this point because you have at least 30 states right now that are constitutional. Sorry about that. As soon as I was trying to close the tab, I just said you were gone now, whatever. And I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, what it needs to be is it needs to get the other 20 states on board, kicking and screaming and being like, no, you're a constitutional carry now too, motherfuckers. Enough is enough of this anti-gun bullshit. So, and really what that needs to be is it needs to be a constitutional carry / danger ground law nationwide is what it is there. And it would make much better things happen in the future is what it is then. So, but yeah, we've had, the thing I've noticed recently is between the Supreme Court and a bunch of other like circuit courts and even like just federal judges and stuff like that recently, there's been probably like 20 or so pro 2A rulings that have happened in the past like 14 to 16 days, give or take now. Like most recently, you had the Virginia assault weapons ban on constitutional BS down there. There was some judge in Virginia there that shot that shit down the other day. And now you got Spanberger and all these other Democrats that cheated their way into office through voter fraud in 2025 are bitching and moaning and being like, oh no, we are totally still going to fight this because we know it's completely unconstitutional, but we're trying to fuck over your gun rights anyway, is what it is. And at the same time, they are the ones cucking the hardest for the illegals to stay in this country under TPS protections. What's crazy to me is, and this is something I want to talk about right now with Breitbart here, the article they put out about 4 or 5 hours ago is what it was, which is you have some of these people that are claiming have been in this country for 2 decades, since 2006. Yet, if they have been in America since 2006 under temporary protection, which, again, the word temporary is just that, it should only be maximum 2 years, really, honestly, if even existing at all for that matter. But if you've had these people in this country for 20 fucking years, dude, why the fuck, number one, are they not citizens already? Why have they not gone through the process of becoming a U.S. citizen? Number two, why have they not actually assimilated into our country? And number three, why the fuck don't they speak English is what it is in 20 fucking years. It's because they're a bunch of lazy motherfuckers who don't want to actually assimilate. They want to invade and push their goddamn commie bullshit where they came from onto America is what it is. Yeah, you got Democrat freak out over Haitian TPS ruling, claiming American families losing temporary amnesty after 20 years. Pillars of our community is what these fucking retards are claiming. And then claiming purely about inflicting pain, SCOTUS advances white supremacist agenda. What a fucking joke, dude. And I've seen it all over X this afternoon. You had that fuckstick, piece of shit faggot Maxwell Frost. Shouldn't even be in Congress, by the way, because his bitch ass literally ran on credit card debt. He couldn't even fund his own campaign for Congress, so he had to literally put the money on, he had to put the actual campaign funding onto credit cards, to where he was like $20,000 or $30,000 in credit card debt when he walked into Congress as a congressman. He also ran in a district that was so gerrymandered blue because of Democrats from New York finding their way down to Florida because they left the fucking rising costs in New York City is what it was there in New York State because of all these fucking invaders, and then flew their happy asses down to Florida to vote for this dipshit is what it was then. And yeah, that was the only reason he even won the primary. And because he won the primary and it was such a gerrymandered district, he just won the fucking election is what it was then. Because there was no way a Republican or independent was going to win that seat is what it was then. Which is exactly why that entire congressional seat should go bye-bye forever is what it is then. Same thing with a lot of these other Democrat seats for that matter. And several Republican seats too for that matter, honestly, on top of that. So, anyway. So yeah, decision of the Supreme Court of the United States of America on Thursday allowing President Trump to end their protection status for Haitians and Syrian immigrants, aka invaders, all of which make it easier to enforce federal immigration law, drove one self-interested Democrat group into a very public meltdown. The 6-3 ruling overturned decisions by federal judges that had blocked Trump administration from terminating TPS for 350,000 people from Haiti and 6,100 from Syria, which it needs to be a lot more now, honestly, dude. And that's the thing, like the majority of these 350K are here in Ohio, man, of the Haitians is what it is. And as I said before, I'll say it right now, dude, when you actually look into how they have fucked over Springfield, Ohio and the surrounding areas there, and not only that, but impacted the state of Ohio and this nation for that matter, is really, really bad because number one, you had them being hoisted into a town they had no business being in and begin with what it was there that could not actually do away or didn't have the funds to actually fund these people. So you had them literally taking food, housing, all kinds of other shelter stuff, education funds, etc., out of the hands of Ohioans, from adults to children for that matter. You had them literally take school funds from kids that were special needs in the state that needed it so that they could actually teach these dumbass retarded kids to learn English, which they never fucking did, by the way. You had them give these people programs here in Ohio for the past 2 to 3 years now is what it is. None of them bothered taking the time to actually learn English at all. You had piece of shit leftists who were then taking them to the Ohio DMV and telling them the fucking answers to driver's license tests. They could get driver's license they shouldn't even have is what it is. And that's why you had that crazy uptick in vehicle crashes and everything else like that, vehicle collisions, random car crashes, all that stuff like that, is because of these fucking idiots that had licenses that shouldn't even have to begin with because they don't know how to fucking drive. Not to mention, not only don't know how to drive, they don't know how to fucking speak English. They don't know how to read English, so they don't know how to fucking read our goddamn road signs. So yeah, you had a bunch of fucking retards from Haiti who don't know how to speak English, don't understand English, have no business being on our roads, but yet they're handed driver's licenses by these fucking retarded ass, suicidal, empathetic leftist people to come here and fuck over our country. And because of that, you now had insurance premiums in the state of Ohio go through the fucking roof in multiple places there because of these morons being in the state. And of course, you had bitch ass DeWine cucking for him, which I have all kinds of problems with this man at this point in history, not to mention the fact that, he was obviously the one that pushed the vax million that killed my mother. That's number one. That's why him and Vivek and Acton should all be in federal prison right now for crimes of community, for killing my mom and a bunch of other people with COVID death shots and a bunch of other things they did during the lockdown stuff that were absolutely unconstitutional, that I know I'm never going to see true justice at this point, unless it would be some kind of a citizen vigilante kind of situation. There is what it is. So, by the way, for those who haven't heard about that one, there's a movie out now called Citizen Vigilante, where it's basically some dude taking it in his own hands to basically deal with the invaders of various countries. And my understanding is, I guess Germany has now banned the film because of that. Elon Musk retaliated by saying, hey, anybody wants to watch this, you can watch it on X here for free now. So I might do that later, is what it is then. My understanding is it's not a great movie, but it has like, it's basically like kind of like it's basically like kind of like a what do you call it now? Like a get one back kind of film. Because it's the opposite of that One Battle After Another bullshit, which is basically pro Antifa garbage. This would basically be pro, I guess, nationalist stuff, whatever you want to call it there. Just, citizens taking back their country from the invading forces, what it is. So, but anyways. So, yeah, that being said, but yeah, going back to the Haiti thing, that's what it is. You have these people that came here. They have such third worlder mentalities because they are retarded, as what it is. They're below retardation levels, of it is there. That all around Springfield, Ohio, there, all the ducks, all the other animals that were in that area, ducks, geese, chickens, random cats, random dogs, etc., were going missing. And it was because these sick fucks were literally grabbing up any kind of animal they could find, killing it, and eating it. Usually over a makeshift little, like campfire, essentially, is what it was there. But they were like roasting these animals over. So, but yeah, it's just completely insane is what it is there. But anyway, going back to the article at hand here is what it is. You had, and this is, by the way, this is why I really want to see every Democrat that's cucking for the TPS status stuff to be left in place. I want to see every single voter roll from their districts yanked and have complete independent audits of these elections for the last couple of years now, where they won these races, because I guarantee you it's going to be voter fraud like a motherfucker in these places, what it is then. And that's exactly why they're doing this. And I know for a fact that's why they're doing it, because it's not only have they had these people voting for them for the past couple of election cycles, and they had no right to vote for them in the first place because they were illegal in this country, is what it is there, and had no legal right to vote here, is what it is. You also have them admitting, there's at least one or two of them there in New York State that have admitted in the past year or so that they want these people here for the 2030 census to make more Democrat seats in Congress, is what it is there, and give these people more power, is what it is. But yeah, you have this Laura Gillen from New York claiming Haitian TPS recipients are part of the very fabric of our daily lives and pillars of our economy and our faith communities. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid fucking cunt. Seriously. What she really means, I'm going to translate that properly, what she actually means with that is, you have these third world invaders coming to our country, undercutting our wages by stealing American jobs for like half the price that Americans would actually do them for, and then completely fucking over our nation because of that, is what it is. So that's why you also have birth rates declining for Americans here, because we can't afford to have kids because the wages are stagnated by these fucking invaders, is what it is. The same thing with all these motherfuckers running on H-1B visas and stuff like that, dude, from India and stuff like that, because you have these fighting age males that are all being brought in here from Haiti, or not Haiti, from India on H-1B visas and stuff like that, and they're undercutting our tech jobs and stuff like that, to where now you can't have Americans who were told their entire lives to go in the tech industry to be able to get tech jobs, because they've created some bullshit caste system in the tech industry there, and they've done a couple other industries too, for that matter, but the tech one is the biggest one of all, is what it is right now, when most of these people don't even have the literal ability to do the jobs they're claiming to be there for, because they have these fucked up bullshit degrees from India that even worth the paper, they're worth the shit paper they're written on, is what it is there, because they're all bought and paid for That's some bullshit thing. It's the same thing with a lot of these doctors that come there from India. It's them literally buying degrees from some random fucking forger in India and then passing those off as if they have like a medical degree or whatever it is there when they have none of that shit at all is what it is, bro. So, but yeah, what this bitch really means is that they're undercutting our jobs, they're undercutting American wages, they're undercutting Americans' ability to have children and future generations, and then they're completely pushing their own bullshit faith into our society. And I want to point something out with the Haitians and stuff like that, dude. Most of these motherfuckers practice voodoo and shit like that. They don't even practice Christianity or Judaism or any of that stuff like that. It's all fucking voodoo, backward ass fucking rituals and stuff like that. That's all a bunch of fucking black magic, literally. So, anyway. Then we had Rob Mendez from New Jersey claiming Trump administration wants to create the largest undocumented population that is possibly can to fulfill Stephen Miller's mission of deporting and removing as many people as possible, purely about inflicting such pain on our immigrant neighbors. Fuck you, dude. Again, I guarantee this Mendez piece of shit is only in power because of, again, voter fraud there in New Jersey. So, then we had Marilyn Strasburg, moronic ass from Arizona, who I guarantee is a fucking voter fraud cheater there. Not to mention the fact that it's been proven now at this point that Arizona is one of the biggest voter fraud states right now when it comes to cartels literally buying off politicians and political seats of power. There's what it is through voter fraud. Claiming today we watched as the Supreme Court sided with the administration that is seeking to strip away basic human rights protected under international law for hundreds of thousands of American families. Americans, you fucking idiot. They're literally not Americans. They are Haitians. They are Syrians that have invaded America, you stupid bitch. In the story. Then we got Pete, I'm not sure how to pronounce this fucker's last name, from California, one of these other Democrat voter fraudsters there, saying TPS matters, and to have a president who can unilaterally change the rules as he goes is shameful and awful. No, what's shameful and awful is that pieces of crap like you've stolen elections to stay in power, they're douchebag, because in a just society right now, the 50 plus jackasses that represent California in Congress should all be kicked the fuck out forever. Every single one of those seats should go bye-bye forever. California should literally owe the rest of the American people a shitload of fucking money. And I'm talking about trillions of dollars in theft that they've stolen from us over the decades now. Which at this point is probably, I would say honestly, whatever the national debt is, let's go ahead and cut that in fours and send 20% of it to what California owes the rest of America at this point, honestly. Because they've stolen from us over the last 20 years or so. So, when you have this retarded woman who's a third world invader herself, who is the founder of Haitian Bridge Alliance, claiming we have TPS holders that have been in this country calling the U.S. home for the past 10, 15, or 20 years, and then falsely saying they are doctors, caregivers, attorneys, taxi drivers. That's what it really is. They're taxi drivers at the end of the day. Immigrants who keep the United States of ours moving, which is an absolute lie, by the way. They don't keep any of our fucking country moving, you stupid bitch. Like I said, they're literally taking jobs from American citizens is what it is. And then Miss Anchor Baby herself, Dalia Ramirez, who, mind you, this is the same woman who, like, about a year ago, give or take now, came out and admitted, number one, that she's an anchor baby in this country to illegals from Guatemala, and secondarily admitted that she represents Guatemala before America and wasn't immediately kicked out of Congress based on that, and then booted the fuck out of this country after the fact on that one then. Claims Trump loyalists in the Supreme Court have joined forces with him to advance an authoritarian white supremacist agenda. Then whines about temporary amnesty is ending because they do not fit Trump and Stephen Miller's idea of what who gets to be an American. Yeah, hilarious coming from a literal fucking anchor baby who doesn't have the right to even be in this country to begin with because her fucking parents, her piece of shit mother, literally jumped our fucking borders while she was pregnant with her piece of shit ass. And then had her dumbass on U.S. soil is what it was then. Which, again, this is exactly why SCOTUS needs to do their fucking job already and get rid of birthright citizenship and have it be legitimately, I forget what the actual term is offhand, but it basically would go back and do it forever, basically is what it is there. Like, it would be like, hey, anybody that's been for the last 50 years or so born underneath this thing or whatever the case be is gone now too. And that would get rid of her ass, would get rid of that piece of shit of Vivek or Ramaswamy, et cetera there. So anyway. Yeah, continuing on here, it says, reported SCOTUS ruled 6-3, clarifying that migrants who have not physically set foot in the U.S. Okay, that's what it was. No physically set foot into the U.S. are not entitled to applying for asylum and does not have the right to be inspected by an immigration officer. Similarly, SCOTUS ruled 6-3 in a different case that President Trump's administration can end temporary protection status for hundreds of thousands of Haitians and Syrians living in the U.S., making them now be deportable. In a third case, SCOTUS ruled 6-3 in Blanche versus, I'm not sure I pronounce the name, Makchardler, something like that, which will make it easier for DHS officials to deport green card holders who have been convicted of crimes in the U.S., which is what I understand in general. Like, how the hell are you going to be a green card holder and commit a felony crime or any crime for that matter in this country and still be allowed to stay in the country? Like, that just blows my mind. This has even been happening at all at this point in history. So, anyway. But yeah, it's fucking nuts is what it is, dude. And I'm so happy that this happened because it just needs to go so hard, dude. And we just need to take back our fucking country from these third world invaders is what it is, bro. And just make America what it should have always been, which is what our founding fathers wanted it to be. So yeah, it just fucking pisses me off. That's what it is. But anyway, what else we got going on now? Let's go to X right now. Oh yeah, that was another one that happened yesterday. Or I don't know if it happened yesterday or a couple days ago. You had this is what's crazy to me too, is we're putting up with the YN insanity in this country right now. When these motherfuckers who restrict citizenship kick the fuck out as well on that one. You had people who were on a Carnival cruise. They had done the entire cruise. I think it was like a week-long cruise or something like that. It was apparently two different black families that had gotten into it, apparently on the cruise line somehow. I don't know if they had like a beef going or what it was on the cruise there. Waited until they got done with the cruise, were in line for U.S. Customs, and proceeded to start throwing hands at each other and create a massive brawl. It was like 20-something people from these two families that were literally fist fighting each other with toddlers running around and stuff like that, dude. It's like, Jesus Christ, people. Like, grow a fucking brain, man. Seriously. It's just such ridiculousness what it is there. So, speaking of demons still here, let's talk about Hakeem Jeffries for a minute. Who just popped up in the feed a second ago. Hakeem Jeffries claims Trump and Republicans have failed the American people, which is why they have concluded that the only way that they can win in November is to cheat. Hilarious, coming from a guy who is literally only in office because of Democrat voter fraud in New York State. Fucking clown. Let's see what we got here. Man wearing smart glasses walked up to a woman who is simply trying to pay for her items. Immediately asks if she's ignoring him because he's black. Doesn't engage with him and keeps trying to check out. Keeps coming back, asking for her number in different ways. I saw this for the first time a couple weeks ago. What it is there, and this is like, I don't know if this guy is American or not, but the real problem, and unfortunately, the real problem with our society in general is chivalry is really dead. Honestly, when you got 3-4 guys, here's what it is, not stepping up and like, dude, just fuck off. And the real problem with that is it's twofold. Because of third wave feminism / misandry in this country, you now have, if one of these guys was to step up, this chick might be like, oh, I don't need your help or whatever the case be, and like bitch at him or whatever the case be then. And then secondarily, these guys have everything to lose by simply stepping in and being like, dude, just fuck off. And it's sad. And it's because of shit like that you don't have anybody do anything to stop this fucking harassment of these motherfuckers is what it is then, dude. When in reality, like every single guy in this line should be beating the crap out of the guy filming is what it is, and it would make everything so much better in our society then. And I think that we're getting to that point in history right now where that will happen very soon is what it is then. So, let's see, we got this idiot here. This guy is like the worst kind of white YN. It's the best way I can describe it. Starts with wig, ends with gur. So these people really are the worst, man. Like, and I even think they're worse than actual ends is what it is, just because they're the white people that grew up in the fucking hood is what it is there, and then act like they want to be black at the end of the day is what it is. Or in some cases, going back to the 90s and stuff like that, it was kids that grew up in the suburbs and then saw, like, basically listened to, what was it? NWA for the first time on a CD and just act like they were all hood, then is what it was. And it's just so stupid. It's just the stupidest fucking retarded morons in the white race that act like this shit right here is what it is, man. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and share that for later. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, that bacon looks real good, man. Oh, what's the IHOP cheat code? Just dine and dash would be my guess here. Let's see. Americans are waking up to IHOP selling multiple versions of eggs. If you ordered normal IHOP eggs, you would get eggs with 15 ingredients and not even know it. The crazy thing about this is you only need one ingredient to make eggs, which is eggs. But you have to order it in a certain way at IHOP to get just actual chicken eggs, is my guess, is what it is. IHOP eggs contain whole eggs, primary base. Okay, so this would be the shit that they're pushing out of a bag, is what they're talking about there. Which, by the way, this is why I will never eat eggs off of a buffet anymore, because of that exact reason. Because this is the exact same crap that's in that kind of thing. Because what they do is they take it's a like frozen bag of eggs that has like whole eggs, and then it's a bunch of other crap in there as well. And they'll split from this plastic baggie into some kind of a pan or like a dish thing or whatever the case be to cook. And I think it's also what McDonald's does with their eggs and stuff like that. That's why it always seems just like bland and gross and shit like that. And yeah, it's because it has whole eggs, citric acid. I'm not even sure I pronounced that word. Xenium gum, gur gum, natural flavor, beta carotene. Isn't beta carotene the same shit that's in like nails and stuff, like our fingernails and our hair and stuff like that? If I'm not mistaken. Sodium citrate, wheat flour, sugar, buttermilk, wheat, soybean oil, which, by the way, no man should even eat anything soy-based because it takes our testosterone levels like crazy. Then you got egg whites, which is an additional thing, baking soda, sodium, aluminum phosphate, which I'm pretty sure is like really poisonous for the human body and is in a lot of stuff. It's also, I believe it's a preservative, if I'm not mistaken. And you got calcium phosphate, which is another preservative kind of thing. And then more natural artificial flavors. All this goes into eggs and makes to make their omelets. This does not include anything added to the omelet, just the eggs themselves. Yeah, just disgusting. By the way, those pancakes look fucking delicious with the big old butter pack on them there. And then that bacon looks, oh, so good. Except for this piece right here in the front, because it's like not totally cooked right. But the upper pieces there look so fucking good, man. So, yeah, some good looking bacon right there. Sausage links look okay by comparison. But yeah, those eggs look fucking nasty, bro. So, yeah, no good. No good for anybody, dude. Let's see what else we got. Stephen Smith speaks on Bill Clinton and Barack Obama's net worth. Yeah, it's interesting when you look at like every previous president before Trump. I should say before Trump's second term is what it is. Because he obviously lost money in the first term is what it is there. But like literally every president from Clinton to Obama to Bush Jr. to Bush Sr., et cetera there. I think even going back to like Reagan and people before that even maybe. They all went in poor to the White House and came out super fucking rich is what it was. Through like various deals they made, through various insider trading stuff they did behind closed doors, et cetera there. So, let's see what we got here. Sources reporting Carmelo Anthony has been stretched out and his nickname is now Melanie. One can only hope. One can only hope that they pulled him apart like a pulled pork sandwich is what it is, man. Seriously, fuck that motherfucker. I still cannot wait until his appeal gets denied. There's what it is. So, And moving on to stuff that happened here in Ohio in the last days now, you had piece of shit, scumbag, criminal Mike DeWine go and pull this bullshit before me now, which I'm pretty sure he's trying to hand the governorship to Amy Acton with this, but I'm not 100% on that one. But it would make sense with his rhino scumbag ass doing this shit. So, okay, I'm going to get my screen share up here properly. Why is this not wanting to? So my screen share is being stupid now. I'm going to have to jump out and jump back in momentarily. All right, let's see if this fixed it now. Let's see. There you go. Governor Mike DeWine facing mass outrage nationwide for vetoing legislation that would require a photo ID for mail-in votes. And as this Eric guy says, how can a Republican governor oppose this? Well, because as we all know, DeWine is a fucking rhino cunt who literally voted with Democrats 90 to 95% of the time when he was in Congress and Senate back in the 90s, 2000s. And does not give a fuck because he's literally in his final year of governor and pretty much politics in general, because he's never going to run again for anything because he's termed out as governor. He's already been an AG in this state. He's been pretty much everything else for that matter. I believe he was Secretary of State at one point. I know he was in Congress and Senate for decades combined, and he was a county prosecutor in I believe it was 1974 was when he started his career. So he was literally in politics almost a decade before Hut was alive, dude. And has basically never stopped, except for I think it was between I think he stopped for like 2 years there because he was in the middle of where he had been, I believe it was primaried out. Or no, he didn't primaried out. He got beaten by Sherrod Brown for the U.S. Senate seat at that time. And then it was between that time and like there was like a 2-year gap or something there where he just hung out with family and was basically raising funds in the Ohio GOP to then run for the AG's office when he became AG after that's what it was then. So yeah, there was like a 2-year gap of him not being in politics, and that's it. But over that time span, it's been about 50 fucking years of this or it's been over 50 years now this asshole has been in power. So it's just ridiculous. This is what it is. And the real problem right now is that the Ohio General Assembly, which is currently being ordered over by pieces of shit criminals like Matt Huffman, are not going to reconvene because they're not on summer break is what it is. So basically, this is either going to be a thing right now where we have so much pressure put on different state reps to basically force them to come back into place for a special session to override DeWine's bullshit veto, here's what it is, for this, or it's going to have to wait until September. And by then it might be too late, honestly, because it might already be law of the land at that point. That's what it is. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, we basically have to wait like at least a month and a half, nothing more. If we don't get these people back in session for like a couple of days, what it is then. So, yeah. By the way, if you don't follow this Andre Williams guy, you should. He's a funny dude, man. He's always calling out the end behaviors, what it is there. So that's what we got. Liberals are now performing witchcraft on the Trump Hollywood star. Wow. I'm not surprised by that, honestly. Sad to say. It's not surprising at all. That woman's hair looks ridiculous. She's trying to be what was that character from back in the day? It was in the movie Camp Nowhere. The blonde chick played it. Or it was the redhead? Annie, that's what it is. She looks like Annie, but the hairstyle is a little bit different. That's what it is, color-wise. So, yeah, just fucking ridiculous what it is, dude. So many of these people are just such a joke, is what it is, man. I feel like there's way too many people in our society have main character syndrome right now. where a lot of them are just unwanted side quests. I think I'm gonna start I think I'm actually gonna make a T-shirt that just says "unwanted side quest." It's just a picture of a bunch of idiots, basically. So, anyway. You got some Haitians and stuff like that, but you didn't mind about, like, we need to be here in the U.S. It's like, no, the fuck you don't, dude. Go fuck off. Fuck off back to Haiti. You cannibal bastards. That's another thing, too, by the way. People don't realize, like, some of the people that were let in under the temporary protection act under that piece of shit Biden's cheater administration were literal cannibals from Haiti. They were literally eating people in their own country, man. So, just completely insane is what it is. I think we're going to leave off today with this story, though. For those that haven't seen it, you had a couple days ago, there were piece of shit Carmelo Anthony that were basically yelling, "Free Carmelo." They found a white woman at some bar and beat the shit out of her. Thankfully, all three of their bitch asses finally got arrested today, is what it is then. Or yesterday. Yeah, so all three mugshots have been released of the individuals who assaulted Sammy Lee at Whiskey J's nightclub on June 25th. I'm not sure how to pronounce this woman's name. Desiree, Daji? I don't even know. Fucking weird. I'll stick a minute to load now. Fuck. Yeah, Daji Brown and Alana Murphy voluntarily surrendered to law enforcement. Sammy says that while she was being beaten, the girls were yelling "Free Carmelo" and stating that they were going to target the smallest white girl they could find. And then, of course, you had the first one. I'm not sure how to pronounce that woman's first name. I'm just going to say Ann Fuller. It's like Sharara Ann Fuller, something like that. I'm not even sure. Fucking great. Like, I swear to God, dude, like, whenever you have, like, ghetto black people in our society, like, have a child, and they go to name that child, it's like they put their fucking entire hand on a keyboard and just, like, smashed it down, and whatever letters come together, like, that's what they name this fucking kid. Like, it's always seemed that way to me, because, like, some of the names they come up with are completely impossible to pronounce unless you're told how to pronounce it. Because it's just literally like a bunch of fucking symbols together, basically, at that point. So, but yeah, basically 3 pieces of ghetto shit. They're probably federal charges now because of this whole thing, and as they should. It should be a federal hate crime, dude, because you literally said you were targeting white women, and it was literally a black and white hate crime is what it is there. It's the same exact thing with what happened in Cincinnati last summer when you had that group of white people, which was like 2 white dudes and a white woman get the shit kicked out of them by like 20 black people. And it was never treated as a hate crime in this state, which is absolute bullshit. As far as I'm aware, everybody involved in that was arrested, that were the black people beating these people, have actually been put in our prison system here in Ohio and are still there. But I need to look into that just to make sure of that one pretty soon, because has been a year. They might have been let some of them out earlier or something like that, because God fucking really keep these pieces of shit in prison. There's what it is. It's like I saw one yesterday that was from a few weeks ago from the Flex Talks guy, where it was a group of black teens and it was a white homeless guy in Toledo, Ohio, where he was just minding his own fucking business. They started to try to jump him. He grabbed a trash can lid to defend himself. Like it was a shield, which it didn't work out well for him on that one because he wasn't in America. But yeah, you had at least one of them on an ankle monitor, and you had this moron woman who was talking in the background about the whole thing, was like, "Oh, they could totally get better and be better members of society in the future." And it's like, no, they're not going to be, lady. The dude's one asshole's wearing a fucking ankle monitor. If he was going to be better, he would not be doing more fucking crimes while literally being out on house arrest, which why the fuck is he even out in the streets to begin with when he should be on house arrest is what it is there, which again, why are we letting these piece of shit criminals get slaps on the wrist as first offenses or second offenses or whatever the case be when they are clearly violent fucking pieces of shit, low IQ idiots that should just be locked up forever is what it is, bro. And this is why I'm 100% in favor of 1 strike laws for certain violent crimes is what it is there, where you just get executed publicly is what it is then. Death penalty on the spot is what it is, bro. All the way up to 3 strikes laws again. And this is one of these ones where all these fucking bitches should be tried with death penalty at this point, honestly, for this crime with this, bro. So, anyway. We got Mendez bullshitting again. Jump past that one. I also love how Vivek is trying to be like, oh, Amy Acton is the worst. It's like, bro, you were literally the one who was basically pulling the puppet strings while she was enacting the shit. Like, neither one of you motherfuckers should be in this race at all. You should have been kicked the fuck out for life to begin with, and we should have had a better primary with completely different people is what it is then. And this is why I am begging the state of Ohio right now to do their fucking job, arrest both of these assholes out of this race, and completely host a new primary come August. I know it's not going to happen, and that's why I'm going to have to work in 2027 to abolish the entirety of state government right now is what it is, because there's so many corrupt fools in the state government currently is what it is now. And yeah, it doesn't matter which one of these assholes actually gets in the governor's office. They're both going to be removed from office, period, under Article 1, Section 2 of the Ohio Constitution for kicking out individuals, what it is then. End of fucking story. So, yeah, we'll go on this one right now for a sec. Like, we'll just to show how insane New York State or New York City is right now under fucking Islamic terrorist Mamdani. There's what it is. New York City just approved a rent freeze on nearly 1 million apartments. As this guy says, sounds great until reality kicks in. Rent is frozen, costs aren't, property taxes rise, insurance rises, utility bills rise, repair costs rise, landlords cut back on maintenance, renovations stop, buildings deteriorate, which is already happening there in New York City, by the way. It's gotten so bad. I saw a video here maybe like 2 months ago or so where it's how they basically built New York City when they expanded the Manhattan, there's what it is, because the original island was only like, I'm trying to think what it was now. It was maybe like that big, give or take, and then they expanded it out to like that big. But the problem is when they expanded it out, instead of actually, figuring out a way to basically make another piece of island essentially there, or like make some kind of like float or something like that, what it was there, that would be able to stay, because obviously this was like 1900s or 1890s or something like that when a lot of this shit happens, what it was there. They instead piled up bags and bags and bags of trash and then mixed them with like concrete and some other stuff. And so whenever you see all the stuff going on there in New York City where you have all the flooding going on, it floods up to exactly where the fake island is and stops right where the real island starts again. That's what it is there. And so what's happening is where all the fake island stuff was created there now, there's different parts of the streets where it is a mix of concrete, rebar, and then like garbage literally from decades and decades ago, if not like a century ago, basically at this point. And it's just eroding out there is what it is. Nobody's fixing the shit because they don't know how to fix it is what it is, because you can't fix that stuff because it's just literal fucking trash is what it is. So, but yeah, that place is literally a hellhole on earth is what it is, bro. Seriously. Just like most of California. Like LA is another great example of the hellhole on earth is what it is there. But yeah, New York City is definitely the East Coast hellhole on earth is what it is. And yes, you already have buildings deteriorating like crazy there is what it is. But as this meme guy said, he said, then comes the next step, sell to a developer, tear it down and replace it with luxury housing. The result, tenants end up in worse conditions and face displacement anyways. You can't freeze economics. You can only delay the consequences. In the end, the people hurt most are often the very people this policy was supposed to help. Exactly. The thing is, though, there's definitely, and like, you shouldn't have like rent freezes per se, but there should be like a grandfather clause where like, hey, if you want to sign something that's like a 10-year lease with somebody or whatever, that should be a thing. And it should be guaranteed at this price is what it is then. And it doesn't matter if the shit goes up there is what it is. Because it is bullshit, dude. Like I've seen, there are apartments I've seen in various videos from New York City, there is what it is. And it's smaller than the room I'm in right now is the entirety of the apartment, man. And you have like, maybe like a door that is like one of those like curtain kind of doors is what it is there. I forget what they're called now. It's like pop-out door or something like that is what it is. That goes into like a little bathroom where the entirety of the bathroom is literally a toilet and a sink. you don't even have a fucking bathtub or shower in the place. So you have to go shower at like some random ass like YMCA or something like that down the block. And mind you, that little shoebox apartment is like $3,000 a month or something crazy like that in many cases. Like anybody that would pay that for it is smoking crack, literally, bro. So anyway, we got hot dogs. It's like some kind of weird cheese, fries, ketchup. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the kind of cheese they put on there, but because it's basically those little Kraft singles that are just plastic essentially. But yeah, I could see that being like a struggle meal is what it is. So ironically, I'd probably eat that, but it would be different kind of cheese that I put on there though. I also don't think I'd put ketchup in it beforehand. I'd probably put that like maybe as like a side thing where I would like dip it into, you know. But that's just me. So anyway. That being said, that's pretty much where I'm gonna be at for the day, I think. And oh wait, I forgot. There's one more story I want to talk about today, and this is probably the most important story of the day, actually, which is we now live in a society where human life is worth under $2, and I mean that seriously. There was a woman recently who was working at a Dollar General. I don't know if she was if she was just a regular employee or if she was like a assistant manager or what exactly she was there. But she was minding her own business, you know, just going through the line of customers and stuff like that. You had this guy walking the door. Okay, she was a manager. Yeah, you have this guy walking in the store, grab a pack of hamburger buns that cost $1.58. He proceeds to go up to the cash register, pull out 2 crumpled dollar bills, throw them on the counter, and then move to the side as he was, as the manager woman was pulling the bills apart to make them flat again, basically. This piece of shit pulled out a handgun and killed her. Dollar General manager shot, killed by customer buying $1.58 hamburger buns. Happened in Columbus, Georgia. This is the woman that was killed, by the way. Dollar General employee was shot and killed in Georgia, and the suspect was later killed after police said he opened fire on officers and a canine unit at a separate scene. Investigators say 44-year-old Alexis Hill was shot and killed at Dollar General around 10 a.m. just 10 a.m. on Tuesday, according to the county coroner, Buddy Bryan. Pronounced Hill dead at 10:45 a.m. Bryan said a man came into the store to buy hamburger buns for $1.58, handed Hill 2 crumpled $1 bills as Hill straightened the bills. Bryan said the customer stepped to the side, pulled out a gun, and shot her. Police said the gunman ran from the store. A short time later, officers tracked him to a second scene near Baker Plaza Drive. At the scene, Columbus, Georgia police said the suspect shot at an officer and a canine unit. Officers returned fire, killing him. The coroner identified the suspect as 33-year-old Jerome Willis. Police said the injured officer has been treated and is expected to full recovery. Canine Havoc is in stable condition but will require surgery. So you got to have the dog get surgery too on top of everything else there. Georgia Bureau of Investigation investigating the officer-involved shooting. Officers said there is no ongoing threat to the public. Police have not released any history or possible motive for Willis. A friend of Hill described her as someone who was sweet and positive. She'd make you laugh, loved that job, and worked her entire butt off for that job. Hill's family said that she was a mother of 3 boys. A GoFundMe has been set up for her family. Hill's brother wrote on GoFundMe that the family is mourning a beloved sister, friend, and member of her family whose sudden passing has left us heartbroken. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting, dude. You have a woman just going to work, doing her fucking job, being an actual productive member of society at that point, and you got some fucking lion coming there and shooting her in the fucking face over what? Over $1.58 hamburger buns. Like it's just, fuck. It's so infuriating, is what it is. It does make me wonder, though, like given everything that happened there, if this wasn't like an ongoing situation, though, because I know I've seen some of this kind of shit before, is what it is, in various other stories where it's like, oh, it looks like a random act of violence, but in reality, it was like they had like some kind of sexual relationship in the past, or it was um like some neighborhood beef or something like that, or it was something where maybe the person caught the dude stealing or whatever in the past there at a store and told him to fuck off, or whatever, and he like it was like revenge essentially. In this case, it might have just been stabbed by a cop, honestly, because it does seem kind of weird that you would like kill this woman and then engage in a firefight with police to have them kill you is what it is there. So it does kind of make me wonder if this guy wasn't just like looking to suicide by cop and then just killed an innocent woman in the first place is what it is there. So I think there's a lot more to the story that that's not known right now is what it is. So there might be like more that comes out later on down the line is what it is there. But yeah, it's just terrible because you got a woman who now has her 3 children who lost their mother for no fucking reason. You have this family now in mourning because of this fucking piece of shit. And it's just terrible, dude. It's fucking horrible is what it is. And this is the exact problem that happens. And I almost guarantee you, if you look into this Jerome Willis guy's background, if they actually release his previous criminal record and stuff like that, obviously post-mortem now is what it would be. I almost guarantee it's going to come out. This guy probably had like 6 or 7 fucking felony charges before all this and should have been in federal prison or even state prison for that matter, leading up to this woman's death. And that's the problem. You have these fucking soft on crime Democrats keep letting these same career criminal pieces of shit back on the streets that it is there. So now, granted, that could have been a situation where this was this guy's first crime, but I don't think it was. Really, he seems like he probably was the kind of guy that was. If he, that's the thing, if he wouldn't take a human life for basically nothing, I wouldn't be surprised if he had killed before, honestly, and got away with it maybe. So, like I said, it's just very sad, man. It's just very, very sad. You got a 44-year-old woman being killed by some 33-year-old piece of shit, basically, and over what? Over nothing. And that's the thing. And it could have been, he could have grabbed the buns too, for that matter, after the fact, and it would have made sense. But the fact that he was paying for them and then shot her is kind of weird to me. I'm almost half wondering if it wasn't a situation there where he was maybe going to try to rob the place, is what it is, but she was taking too long to unfurl the bills, is what it is, or something there. And so he just shot her, is what it was, and then just ran. Because it could have been something where he was like high on drugs for all we know. And he just thought he had grabbed the money, but in reality he didn't grab shit, is what it is, or something. So it could have been like a robbery gone wrong, even for that matter. But I don't know. It just seems very, very weird. So it's also very, very sad for that matter too. I'm going to check on the GoFundMe here to see how much it's actually raised right now. And this is actually what's sad to me too. So you got the black community will do campaigns and fund pieces of shit like Carmelo Anthony to $600,000 to $700,000. Yet this poor woman, her family, hasn't even gotten to $16,000 yet in their GoFundMe goal. They're just under $13,000 from 269 donors. That's just sad, bro. I will give big props to this Andrea Williams woman though, who donated $1,000 to him. That's a huge deal right there, man. Yeah, I'll see what this says about this woman though. Yeah, it says Alexis Hill, with beloved sister, mother, grandmother. I thought as much. Yeah, so mother and grandmother, member of family whose sudden tragic passing left family heartbroken. Let's see. She was taken from us, leaving behind 3 children, 2 grandchildren. Family is devastated. Alexis touched many lives with her kindness, generosity, and spirit, and we want to come together to celebrate her life and support her estate during this difficult time. Funds raised will go directly towards her covering the cost of her memorial service, burial, travel, for her next of kin, funeral arrangements, and estate expenses that arise after the funeral, along with the stabilization of her children and grandchildren. Your support will help her ease the financial burden of her family and allow us to focus on remembering her and supporting each other. And that's the big thing. I know for a fact, like after my mom died, dude, like there is a lot of random costs that come up when it comes to like burial and like funeral arrangements and estate stuff and everything else like that's what it is. So yeah, stuff you don't really think about, honestly. But yeah, I guarantee people are gonna need at least like probably like $30,000-$40,000 is what it is. So it's just terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, seriously, Black Meat. If you want to help somebody, dude, go help this person's family. Go help Alexis Hill's family. Person that actually deserves it. Not some piece of shit like Carmelo Anthony is what it is. So anyway. That's about it for today though. I'll be back. I might be back tomorrow, it depends. Or it might be a couple of days from now. Because I might have some stuff I gotta do tomorrow is what it is. My doctor officially diagnosed me diabetic the other day, and now I gotta go get medication to start taking. That's what it is here. Looks like my friggin' stuff comes pretty dang soon here. It's already 4:30 right now. I was hoping my UPS packages would be here by now, but they're not. So sometimes they'll drop them off at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and sometimes they'll not be here until like, freaking 6 or 7 is what it is then. So yeah, I got a bunch of the mags coming in there, so hopefully I can get those here in the next hour if that be the case. And I got the alert set up on my phone right now where they're supposed to text me whenever it gets dropped off then, which hopefully is pretty dang soon. But yeah, like I said, it's just a sad situation all the way around with that woman and her family, and yeah, just fucking. I don't even know if I want to call it a random act of violence at this point or not. I guess I would for the time being anyway. But yeah, it's just a disgusting act of violence is what it is there, dude, where you got some woman just working her, minimum wage 9 to 5 there is what it is, just minding her own fucking business, doing her job, and some piece of shit walks in and takes her life is what it is there. So it's just a sad, pathetic situation all the way around is what it is. Fucking irritates the hell out of me is what it is, man. Because we shouldn't have to live like this is what it is at the end of the day. It should be Americans being able to just live our lives and just, mind our own fucking business and not have to worry about pieces of shit just coming in and killing us and her. So anyway, like I said, that's about it for today. As always be carrying, always be situationally aware, etc., etc. Next week, I will have a new hat coming in because it should have been in here today, unfortunately, but the stupid ass postal system decided to take it from Florida, send it to Illinois, and then send it back to Florida. And as far as I'm aware, it's now sitting in a Florida facility waiting to be shipped to Ohio in the next day or two is what it is then. So, why they even ship to Chicago/Illinois area to begin with is fucking stupid, because it's like, I can see if that was like a hub that would be like the bing bong between, Ohio and Florida or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, why wouldn't you just directly ship it? Why wouldn't you have directly shipped it from Tampa, Florida to Columbus, Ohio, instead of shipping it to Illinois and then back to Seminole, Florida? Like, it's just fucking retarded, basically. You just wasted like 2 days for nothing is what it is there, people. But again, that's government for you. They love to fucking waste time and throw a bunch of red tape up when there doesn't need to be is what it is there. But yeah, I got my official Ohio Patriot Education Network hat coming now. So hopefully it'll be here in the next day or so. And I'll be wearing that next week is what it is then for the pre-4th of July special. And as I've said before, don't be surprised if there is some kind of crazy Islamic sleeper cell activation on the 4th of July this year for the 25th anniversary of America. And Trump and company need to be ready for that shit, dude. And so does every cop in this nation, because if you're not ready, dude, you're going to be caught with your fucking pants down. And I guarantee there's going to be a lot of fucking chaos happening that day, is what it is. And it's exactly why I plan on just staying right the fuck here, is what it is then. And not anywhere near any fireworks shows or anything else for that matter, because like this is what they're going to target, is what it is then. So, anyway. Till later. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Always be caring. Always situationally aware. Always be ready for a 4th of July Islam terrorist attack, etc., etc. And I'll see you guys in the next one for either Slicey Boy Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure which one I'll do yet. It just depends. If I feel like doing one tomorrow, I'll put up one a couple hours before I do it. If I don't feel like doing one tomorrow, I'll maybe do one on Sunday, if that be the case then. So either way, look forward to that. Later, y'all. Bye.